For us, the importance of building a big world was not only just for the sake of building a big world, but to maximize the chances, that players would feel immersed, to push the feeling of exploration and of surprises. So it's not really a matter of size, but of things that you can do within it. Technically, we started with the Black Flag Caribbean Sea, map, and then we made it on ground.
In Black Flag, we had these moments of exploration in the nature, but it was very linear. It was very controlled because we couldn't do all the open ocean and also all the open landscape of the islands.
For that, we developed new tools, procedural tools to be able to develop huge portion of lands while still keeping the artistic talent being actually able to handcraft a precise location. The big difference between Assassin's Creed Origins and the previous title is really this vast open world, which is totally seamless. We touched that a bit on Black Flag, but otherwise this is the first time ever we have these massive cities that are directly, set into the world. And so for the first time you can, from the city, you're in the ramparts, you see the mountains over there, take your horse, just leave the city, no loading, no nothing, and you're in the countryside exploring the world and being totally free. This is really the first time, and when you feel it, when you experience it, it's really, really super cool. What is interesting about Assassin's Creed Origins world is really the mix. You took the example of AC1, you had Acre, which was more about European, and Crusaders, and Jerusalem, and then Damascus, who was more about Saracens. In our world, everything is mixed. It's really a melting pot at this time, Egyptian civilization is already almost 3,000 years old, and so it's really a mix of influence. We have obviously a traditional Egyptian way of life, but also Greeks, and just some Jews also, and some visitors from other countries. So you realize that Egypt was really at the center of the world at this time, and so that makes the world super exciting and diverse in its composition. When it comes to NPC, we favored the fact that we wanted all living beings in this world to be really living, to be full AI basically. So all animals, civilians, soldiers, bandits are AI. So we may have sometimes bigger crowds, but they're way more living and spread within the world. We wanted to break this trope of going from one icon to another icon in the minimap. Because of the quality of the world, because of the extreme talent that is put in that game, in that world, we really wanted players to look at the world around them. And this is why we decided to move from a minimap to a compass, because the compass still gives you hints and information, but you need to engage, you need to participate to your experience, and so this is why we made this choice. But I'm sure people will like it, because in the end, first, the interface, the HUD is way lighter and less obstructing the world, and so it's even more enjoyable.
We worked with Jean-Claude Golvin. He's a French historian, but he's also a painter. He was really inspiring us, not only with his text and his description of Enchanted, but also by his painting, and he did some painting for us. So we had discussions with him, and we agreed that we're not making a documentary, but we are using the historical reference to create a credible experience of ancient Egypt, to have this feeling of, okay, we're traveling back in time, so that's a fantasy that is really cool. And at the same time, we want to bring emotion through the environment design. So for instance, the first time we discover Memphis, we made some choices to maybe lower some building and higher some buildings, so we create an interesting contrast. So we're trying to really bring emotions through the environment design, but also have a credible immersion. That's always what we did in all the AC game.